Hey everybody, I am here today with our leading lady, Frances Hinojosa, and we're going to talk about breaking through glass ceilings. Frances, tell me about your childhood and your experiences growing up.
So my parents came over here from Croatia, and you know what, it was interesting. I spent a lot more time with my dad than I did my mother. Only simply because there's no rhyme or reason to it. I think being the middle child of the family, I have one younger sister and I have two older sisters, just sort of played out that way. I grew up in the construction industry, so my dad had a construction company, so I was around a lot of men, and growing up with my dad, there wasn't really any genders associated. So I think that's really sort of where it's kind of tagged who I am today and where I see people. I see people. I don't see men. I don't see women. I see human beings.
So I want to ask you about mentorship because I just recently saw Michelle Obama. I was fortunate enough to go see her. Yay! And she talked about mentors and how she wouldn't be where she is today if she hadn't had mentors in her life. So have you had mentors, and how did those come about in your life?
Mentors are very, very important in life. But I think what people discount is there's mentors around you constantly. You know, having conversations with as many people as possible. Some mentorships can be a 1 10-minute conversation, and listening to that conversation and the wisdom that you get from it. You know, I do believe that things sort of drop into your life from the universe as you need it, and advice will drop in as you need it. You know, pay attention to things that are being said to you.
In terms of social glass ceilings, this is of all the glass ceilings, usually the toughest one to talk about just because it can be uncomfortable or painful. But I'm wondering what you think is the best way for women to deal with social glass ceilings and how we overcome this and help men, certain men, level up and become better.
You know, first and foremost, again, it's about being open and being honest about the way you feel. I'm a firm believer in, you know what, everyone's opinion matters. As long as you come from a place of heart, and you know your own core values and you speak it, you have every right to sort of speak that out there. And it's the biggest mistake that I see women saying, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to hurt other people's feelings. Yeah. You know, I've had these conversations where I've turned around and said, okay, but it's okay that your feelings are hurt. How does that make any sense? Like, you're gonna, you know, absorb those negative energies and have your feelings hurt and feeling uncomfortable just to save face for the other person. Sometimes you're going to have to say things that are not going to be so nice, but it's the way, I'm a firm believer, it's the way you communicate and the way that you say things to people.
One of the things that women always want me to ask, and they're very curious about, is how are you able to be a successful career woman and manage children and all the responsibilities that come with motherhood? So how do you juggle all of that successfully?
I think it's a combination of structure and not taking it too seriously. It really is a balance between the two. And I do believe there's no such thing as work, you know, that's saying work-life balance. It really isn't a work-life balance for me because work and life is one and the same. There's not a work Frances, there's not a life Frances. There's just Frances. There's no difference, there's no segmenting between the two. One has to be there in order for the other to be there. You know, a lot of the things that I do in my house, and we talked about this too, and I've talked to other women, is, you know, run your house like you run your business. And so what I mean by that is scheduling. Scheduling is so important. The other thing too that's very important to manage a household with kids is don't forget to schedule time in for yourself. Yeah. and most women really forget to do that. Like once a week, schedule something in for you. Do it like an hour. It's not going to kill you. Whether it be if you love working out or walking in nature, go take a massage. Hell, sit in a room and stare at the wall for 1 hour if you want and close your eyes and meditate. I mean, that is so important, as well as to be able to structure your week, to take care of your kids, to take care of your work, but most importantly, make sure you take care of yourself, because if there is no you, there is no one there to take care of the family or the work.
Considering you were having this big successful banking career, how and why did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
I knew, again, my core values. I knew who I was as a person, and I knew that I would wake up at, you know, age 65, 7 years old saying to myself, why didn't I take that risk? What if? I hate what ifs. Right. I really hate what ifs in life. I really go by my gut feeling. Yeah. I think if more people trusted their guts, and I call it energies. Yeah. You know, Kyra, when you walk into your room, you either feel really uplifted and great, or you feel really dragged down. you got to trust those energies, gut feeling, energies, intuition. You know, it's being in tune to yourself, what your core values are. I knew that if I stayed at that point, I would regret it, and I wouldn't be happy.
So in terms of being a leader, which you very much are, what do you think is the most important characteristic a leader should possess?
I think the most important quality, again, it's going back to that, is heart. That to me is a very, very important quality to have. With heart, you have compassion. You have the ability to listen to other people's opinions and not just your own. With heart, you're not letting ego take over.
And my favorite question, what is your spirit animal?
What I went with is I went with the brown bear.
Brown bear.
Which is interesting. You know, most people think bears are aggressive. Do you know bears are only aggressive, especially brown bears? Brown bears will only attack if you're in if you are a threat to their sort of their tribe or their young. They stand up, they're courageous. They are in the native sort of community, whatever, for the spirit animals. They're the ones that invoke courage in others and strength in others. So that's why I chose the brown bear, because I try to help as many people as possible. As you know, Kyra, if they come to me, you can do it. Like, you really can. And you have the strength and the courage in yourself to do whatever you want in life.
Thank you, Verico, for your generous sponsorship in making this video possible.